This morning I had to rent a trailer because we found a donor vehicle for Uncle Austin's Mercedes. I also used this trailer to pick up our first lift. Hello everybody and welcome back to my garage revivals. Right, so this morning I've been a little bit busy on the shop truck once again. I've taken the bumper guard off and I sort of just started taking off some of the rust we have on here. So my plan is to just give this a lick of paint in black and then pretty much slap it back on the truck so it's going to look a little bit better. I also bought some more spotlights, so we just need to pop this one in as well because we were missing one. And yeah, we've got some black paint over here, so I'm just going to give it a lick of paint and then we're going to see what it looks like. I think it's going to look a little bit better at least. So I got 2 cans just for in case we don't have enough. But I think, yeah, it should look a bit better than what it was. Alright. Yeah, let's just be sure to cover all areas of this thing. Now, some of these places are a bit tricky to reach, but if we can just get the most of it, I'll be happy. Alright. That looks a bit better. I think the 1 can might actually just be enough. We do have a little bit that we missed there, so let's just chuck this in the garbage over here. Alright, so we'll get to the other vehicles in a second here. I just want to sort this out quickly. And then I'll show you guys what I've been busy with as well this morning. Alright, I think it's just over here we missed a little bit. Yeah, I think that's probably not going to be perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect just yet. We'll get this sorted out once we get the truck painted up again. Because we've got some patches of rust on this body. And there are a few bits and pieces here which we need to color code. Because like this cowl panel over here, it's different color. And we also got an inner bed that's a odd color, as well as our door and this cab trim part on the side here. So yeah, there's definitely some parts that needs to be painted on our truck to make it look good again. And we also do have a little bit of rust here and there on that truck, which we'll also try and sort out in the near future. So yeah, that is pretty much what's going on with our shop truck. I'm just gonna wait for this thing to dry up a bit. It should be, yeah, it should be dry already. Alright, so as for our Mercedes Wagon, we pretty much did all the work in the last episode, getting this thing up and running. So it is running and it is driving. I did take it for a little test drive. So it's doing very well. And then as for this car over here, this is our donor vehicle for the Mercedes, which we are working on. So Austin's Mercedes, or Uncle Austin for us. His Mercedes has been stripped and I took out the rear glass as well and this rear panel. The rear panel is still laying over there, but I chucked the glass already, so that is taken care of. So we pretty much need to cut the parts we need off the donor vehicle. So which will be pretty much this panel at the back and the door. I think the door on his car is fine now. I did patch it up a bit, but I'm not sure if a lot of these parts are going to be interchangeable with our Mercedes over here. So we're going to see if the interior bits like the dashboard, the console and stuff like that will go in this car. I think some of these parts are a bit worn, like these seats. So we might have to get a new seat, a new center console. Obviously we're going to have to replace the headline in our wagon with a correct one for the car. But all of these door panels, they might actually work. We'll see. Might have to get a new one for the passenger door, because that one took a little bit of damage due to the accident this car was in. So yeah, this is has been totaled pretty much. So this is pretty much where the wheel is supposed to be, and there's supposed to be a whole front end of this car still, which is missing. So luckily we picked this thing up for a bargain. I paid $4,000, sorry, $4,000 for this car. They were asking $5,000 for it, but I did go down with the price a bit. So we've got this whole car to work with, and we've got some parts for our wagon as well. So that is pretty much what we're going to be doing in this episode, is cutting this car up and taking the parts off we need for our Mercedes we are working on. So in other news, I've got a customer vehicle here that needed a exhaust system replaced. So we've got the whole left header and the exhaust taken off. So I've put on the new one. So this Mustang should not be as loud as it was when it came into the shop. So we're going to fire it up and just see if it sounds normal. Alright, let's give it a little bit of a ref. Yeah, that sounds good. Not gonna bother with that any further, so just gonna let this customer know his car is ready for collection. So yeah, let me go and make a phone call quick, and then I think we can put our bumper guard back onto our pickup truck. Okay, so our customer was here. He did pick up his car and he's very happy. So we've got a little bit of money back in our pockets again, because we were getting quite a bit broke here. But yeah, let's see if we put our bumper guard back on, if it's gonna look a little bit better. We also have got some spotlights to mount, so let's grab those as well. Alright. I think let's bring them all over here. I think those actually mounted to the bumper, so we'll just double check on the positioning. Yeah, I think that's mounted a little bit higher. That is looking a little bit too low on the bumper. So we'll put it over here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So let's just grab the other ones. And then we're going to have 4 spotlights on our truck. Alright, zip that down. And the last one. Alright, that is perfect. So let's just quickly give it a test and see if they all work. So we're just gonna flip the switch over here. Alright, so there we go. Everything is working. So that is looking very good. So now if we ever were to drive at night, I think we shouldn't have a problem seeing where we are going. So that is looking pretty good. So our shop truck, we're not going to do any work to this truck in this episode. We're going to probably start only next episode, cutting off some of these panels, maybe derusting them. So that is the plan for this. But then again, I also need to work on the wagon Mercedes, getting this thing sorted out a bit, because we did run a little bit of a poll in my Discord, and people decided that we should do a full restoration on this SUV, or not SUV, station wagon, and get this thing looking factory fresh, which actually makes sense, because then we are going to be getting a little bit more money for it. But then again, we are pretty much, looking for money. So we need to also do some more customer work in between. So once we can get this car sorted out, then we are pretty much ready for the next one. So I think the sooner we can sort that Mercedes out for Hugo's grandfather, the quicker we can start doing other work as well. So we are going to pretty much put on our cutting disc again. We took off in the last episode, and we're going to start cutting parts of the Mercedes over here. So I've got more or less an idea what we need. So some of these parts we need to just unbolt and transfer over. So like this trunk. So we'll take this off, and there's also some rust on some of these panels. So we'll get that sorted out as well. I think maybe even the paint shop will do that for us. So I'm not really going to be too worried about it. Alright, so the trunk goes on. So let's zip that down. We're going to have to do a little bit more cutting here as well. We need to cut out this trunk floor. I did manage to save the license plate on the trunk that we took off the car. So that is also going to go back on. We don't want to have different license plates on the car at the front and the back. So that is definitely against the law. Alright, so I think next part we're going to do is pretty much cut off the quarter panel, because that'll give us the bulk of the damaged parts replaced on the car. There's also some rust on here. I saw that down here, so that is not too bad, but we can get it sorted out as well. Right, we are gonna cut over there. I think there might be a weld behind here somewhere we are not getting to yet. So let me just see. Of course. And I think this weld. Can't really remember all the welds we were doing on the other car yet. Alright, let's see. If we take that panel off quickly. Now, where did I put the wrench? Okay, perfect. So let's see if we take this off. We can investigate a little bit better. Right, so this trim, let me just grab this and put this one side. Okay, let's see. Am I missing any welding spots over here? I think worst things, yeah, if things comes to the worst, we'll just take the bumper off, because I think that's probably hiding a couple of the welding spots we need to take off here. Alright, so we've got a bolt over there. And there should be another one over here for our rear bumper. Okay, let's set that aside over there. And yeah, let's get this rear clip taken off, or this valance. Alright, that is looking very good. So this is also a part we need to put on our car. Okay, so this will pretty much go on here. That seems to line up pretty well. Nothing really bad going on there. Right, so now I think this is the weld we were looking for our quarter panel, which just popped off. So that is pretty good. So we've got this piece off. Right, so this should pretty much go on here. I like that, but we still need to cut off some more parts here. So I think before we start putting parts on here, we are going to have to take off the damaged parts still. We need to take off the floor and this wheel well. I think we might have to take off the wheel and the suspension, or the shock absorber at least. I think that is pretty much what we need to do now. So it's actually going very quick. This isn't a very difficult job. It just, you have to do it in the right sequence, just to make sure you get things done in order. And I did check underneath the car here, suspension wise, everything still looks good. There was nothing really damaged other than the wheel hub apparently, but they replaced that already. And then obviously the wheel got damaged, so they had to put on a spare tire. So that's actually a different wheel that they had somewhere laying around. Alright, let's come and grab our grinding machine. Alright, so we're going to cut off this inner fender. So I'm not too sure if it's got some welds behind here. No, that's pretty much it, I think. So it's called a wheelhouse. That was the word I was looking for. So we'll just put that down over there, and then let's see if we can get this floor taken out now. So there should be some welds under the rear seat, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Alright, so we can see it from this side. So we'll cut those off. And then we'll come down over here. I believe should be a cut we need to make. Let's just see from the inside. It's probably behind this panel. Yeah, we're gonna have to take apart this thing a little bit further. So let's grab our wrench, and also let me switch on my lights, because I've got lights under here. It's a little bit dark working in the shade, but we've got lights, so that is pretty good. Okay, this panel should pop off like that. Okay, so now we can try and investigate what's going on here. Okay, so there's a weld. can cut off. So I'm thinking maybe we're going to have to take off the whole rear suspension here. So that is probably what we're going to have to do here. Because I haven't worked on a Wolf in a while now. So, or actually a Mercedes. So this is it's actually a little bit new to me again. Right, so we'll just set this off to the side. And we could probably crawl in under here and see if there's any welds here we need to cut. Not sure if that is really holding it in. No, that's just for our wheel well, so that is pretty much taken care of already. So let's just make sure this doesn't go anywhere. Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to think we need to cut off this quarter panel as well to get to this. So I think... yeah, what else could be holding this floor in? It's probably these welds. And that seems to be for the rocker panel, so we can keep that one in. Let's take this one off as well. There we go. I think we've got it. Alright, so now we just have to take off our suspension parts from there as well. These shock absorbers, they seem to be still in good condition, so we're going to replace those again. Okay, and pop this one off. So I think the other car is going to be a little bit harder to work on because it's on the ground. And we don't have another lift, which by the way is the new addition to our shop over here. It's a little 2-post lift. So this actually gives me a little bit of confidence to work on my Mercedes Wagon's floor pan as well. Now that we've got a lift. So that should do very well for us. Alright, so let's grab our grinder. So I was thinking we should probably remove all of these fancy carpets and trim and stuff from this car as well. But we're going to see if we're going to be able to do it like this. I mean, the less we need to strip off, the quicker this is going to be done. So just going to see if we can do more or less what we did. And maybe we'll get it sorted out. Yeah, there's still quite a couple of things in the way over here. But luckily we do know our way around this car a little bit now. Alright, we also can cut that off. And then we had to take off the suspension, which we'll probably do with our floor jack. Okay, so this is what we're going to need as well. Luckily that is in still fair condition. So we're going to do that. Let's grab our floor jack quickly. There it is. Okay, so we're going to jack it up on the panel we need to take off. Alright, so let's take this bumper over to the car as well, because this is going on. Although we might actually be replacing this with a body kit rear bumper at some point. But I think for the time being we are just trying to get this car put back together again. Okay, so let's get under here. There's the other one, and we've got brake hose here somewhere. There it is. Okay, this side brake hose, that one, and this one. And that'll let our suspension come out. Okay, great stuff. Now, it's not really necessary to take this off. Yeah, it is actually, because we need to put the other ones on, so those can just drop down to the ground for now. If they are going to. I don't know if they're going to stay around there. We'll see. But I think, let me grab my pry tool. See if we can get that panel taken off at the back over here. Get some access to the welding bits. We'll just put this on the hood of the Mercedes Wagon for now. Because obviously we still need to paint the car. Alright, so it was that weld over there. And on this side, we've got a weld over there we need to cut off. But also this needs to come out. Okay, we just did this earlier, so that is part of the frame rail, but I think we've got it. Here it goes. Alright, that is perfect. So this actually came with the fuel tank out and everything, so that is actually very good, because now we can pretty much just slap this back on our car, and then once it's welded in place, I think we can reattach the suspension and just swap out the shocks. That will make it a little bit easier for us. Alright, so just like that, this car is already starting to take some sort of a shape. Don't know what shape exactly to call it, but yeah, there's going to be some shape. Alright, I don't think we really need our jack on that side now, so we can pretty much continue with the welding. So let's grab our welding machine. But before we weld anything, once again, we need to take off our battery, which I think is gonna make sense. And there goes the number plate. Okay, but that's okay. We'll get to that. We'll figure that out. Okay, we need our wrench again for the battery. So let's come over here and take the battery off. Negative first, and then the positive, and then we are safe. Alright, so we'll just pop it on to the tires that bouncing. Okay, that is not going to work so well. I don't really want to put the battery on the cold surface over there, because it's not good for a battery cell to be on the cold cement. I think everybody knows that is what you need to do with a battery, is put it on a piece of wood or something. So it's just going to chill in the back of our truck for now. Alright, so I would like to start welding. So we may have cut some unnecessary parts over here, so just going to make sure that we weld everything back together. And would you look at that, that's actually much easier from the bottom. Okay, and we can also weld that back in place now. Right, and let's replace that as well. Right, is there anything else? I think we seem to be good. Ah, there goes the shock absorbers now. So this is a old crusty one. We can just put that one side for now. Okay, so next up, let's get our rear valance mounted here. And did I just kick the welder? That's fine. Okay, let's get this welded up. Hopefully the carpet doesn't set on fire, but so far I haven't had any problems with that. Okay, so we do have to weld this back in place. Alright, so we've got our wheel well, as they call it, or wheelhouse. Let's get that back in place. That's pretty simple. Just a couple of welds here and there. I don't think there's anything up front here. Let's just double check it quickly. That looks good. I don't think we've got any more to weld on that side. Alright, let's slap on this quarter panel. Okay, and then let's weld this in place. Alright, I think we are just this one over here. Alright, now we are good to put on our new wheel well on this side from our donor car. Let's get this welded in place. Alright, I think that is looking very good. So let's get our suspension back in the car quickly. And then we'll mount the shock absorbers and all those parts. So there we go, zip that down. Alright, and let's get under here. We'll get the other one sorted out as well. Okay, and then this one. And then our brake lines. Alright, so now we can put our shock absorbers on. I don't know which one is the new one. Well, the newer ones, and which one is the old one. But they all look like they are in good condition, so we can put any two of these on. It's not really a problem. Okay, let's just find the sweet spot on this side. It's a little bit tricky now because the wheel is still on this side, but that is looking very good. Okay, let's put on our rear bumper. And then I think it's just a couple of interior bits we need to order, but I did have a little bit of chat with Hugo about his grandfather's car here. And he suggested that we change the interior to black. So we are going to be ordering a full black interior for this car. I don't know exactly when that is going to arrive as well, so we'll see. So let's grab our toolbox, because I think our tools are sort of just scattered all over the place at the moment. So let's grab the whole toolbox there, because we need to do a couple of things now. Alright, so there we go. We're going to need our spring compressor. We're going to need a screwdriver, maybe even a pry tool. So for the pry tool, we need to take out the rear windscreen, or the windshield, or whatever they would call this. So it's just a rear window. So we'll come and slap this in place like that. So that is looking like a car again. Okay, and then we've got a license plate, which went flying a little bit earlier. Alright, so we're just going to replace that one with the one on the car. Well, the one that we currently have on the car, which is the one from our donor vehicle. Okay, so that should drop down any second. Alright, there's the old one. And look at our welder laying on its side over there. Alright, so this is pretty much, yeah, the donor car's lumber plate. We can remove that for now. Okay, so in terms of wheels and tires, we are going to buy some new wheels and tires. So we're just going to put on what we have at the moment. Although I do actually have that 16-inch rim over here, which is the same as the ones on the car, but then we're going to have to find another hubcap for it, which is going to be a little bit of a problem probably. So we're not going to be bothered with that just yet. So we'll just roll with the one steel alloy wheel for the time being. And let's get our springs back in. I think like that. So that is looking very good. So I think we just need one small little detail that we need to fix up for now. Because obviously my plan is to get this car ready to go to paint. Because once it comes back from paint, then we can do the interior bits and stuff like that. So we need a small little window for the rear left door. And I do want to actually test if these are going to fit on our Mercedes wagon. I really hope they do. Alright, so we've got our small window over here. So this should just pop in. We need to get some window tint on this, just to match the rest of the window tint. So obviously we've got a roll of tint. We can probably just slap some tint on that quickly. Because remember when I bought the tint for the Challenger of Hugo, we bought 2 rolls. Now I'm not sure if this is the same shade, so if it's not, then we'll just have to go and get the right one. But I think that is a perfect match. And also we'll do the rear window as well, just like that. So that is pretty much sorted. So this car is repaired body wise. So that is pretty much the repair side of this vehicle done. We just need to replace the trunk liner on the side over here, and also that part that goes over there. Then we are pretty much done. So let me come and grab this part over here. So this just snaps into place to cover up the gas tank. So this is almost like a beauty panel in my opinion. And then we'll slap this trim in on the side over here again. Let's get that zipped down. Alright, now I just need to try and remember where I put the new one, because that is the other one. I think I did put it down here. Ah, there it is. Okay, so this is the piece we need for our replacement part there. And then we are just going to have a quick look and see if the actual door cards and stuff will work in our wagon. I haven't really ever tested if they are interchangeable, so that's something we're going to find out in a bit over here. But yes, I think this turned out to be very quick and easy. Not really a lot to it, so we did it. It has been sorted out, and we've got some spare parts now, especially considering we've got a whole donor vehicle still left full of good parts. So obviously there's not an engine or a transmission or anything, which I haven't checked. Is there a transmission? There is actually. So that is pretty cool. So we can probably even change the transmission in our station wagon to a manual, if that is a manual. It looks like it's a manual. So that is pretty cool in my opinion. But yeah, we're gonna see if these parts are interchangeable. We also have some trim for the sides. I think that also goes on the wagon, so we can pretty much test that as well. Okay, so let's grab this door card. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, I think that fits. That looks pretty decent. Okay, so let's see if they all fit, and we're also going to test the one on the passenger driver side. Well, not the passenger driver side, the passenger side, front door, and see if that's going to work. And I think we might have to move this car a little bit away from the wall. Now we're good for that one, so that is fine. And we also have got a good suspension parts on here by the looks of it. Hopefully we can replace some of our wagon's parts with those. So yeah, this little piece of Wolf that is left, or Mercedes that is left here, is going to pretty much come in handy for fixing up two cars at the end of the day by the looks of it. We can probably slap it on from the inside, so let me just come and lean in here for the bolt. Alright, let's see if we can get the other one through the door as well. Now this door trim on the outside looks a little bit banged up, so I don't know if this is going to look any better. Well, there's only one way to find out. Yeah, I actually think that looks good. So yeah, this is already coming together very nicely. I think the carpet is probably going to be different for the wagon, so I'm not too sure actually. So yeah, once again, there's one way to find out. Let's get the center console out. Alright, so that car also has got some rusty floor panels. Oh, would you look at that? The carpet actually mounts. So that is pretty decent. I don't even think we're gonna have a carpet for this car. Looks like the only thing that is really different is the actual headliner for the station wagon. So we can also take out these bulky seats. So we're gonna swap over everything for now. So this bulky seat is definitely not supposed to be in this car. Almost got zero legroom with this seat installed. And would you look at that? That bolt wasn't even tightened. So yeah, we've got a couple of spare parts already. Okay, so that is door cards done. We've got a center console in. We've got seats that we can pretty much put in for the time being, just to get our wagon looking a little bit more complete. And now I'm starting to bang the doors against each other here, so let's just open this one separately. I'm sure there should be some sort of upholstery company that can recoat these seats, because I actually do like the grey interior. Which bolt did we not get on this seat? Is that one is loose? Oh, I think it is loose. We just need to lift it up. Alright, so there we go. That is the correct seat for this car. Now we've got ample legroom. And also we are going to have a rear seat if the rear seat also fits. Alright, let's get this passenger seat, because now I'm starting to get excited about the wagon because it's already starting to come together quite well. Alright, let's get this seat installed as well. We're going to be able to reach any bolts from this side because we are a little bit limited on space on that side. Let's see if we come past here. Can at least get those 2 bolts in. And we can try and guess where these ones are down here. Probably going to be a little bit hard to get to. Alright, let's see. We'll just slam the door against the wall a little bit. Okay, that is perfect. So we've got almost a full interior in this car. Okay, so now I think the next thing we're going to do is the back seat quickly. So we should be able to squeeze in here and just get this unbolted. So I definitely think we are going to go with grey interior for this Mercedes. That is looking very good. We just need to get a couple of parts sorted out here, and then this car is pretty much complete. We just need to do the floor pan, which we can do actually now with the lift that we have. But this episode is starting to get a little bit long, so that is pretty much what we'll be doing in the next episode as well, along with the work we're going to do on our truck. Right, so I think the last thing I want to do at least is to swap over the dashboard. Now, do we have our toolbox somewhere? I think it's still over here by the other Mercedes. Right, so let's bring this over. Alright, so the dashboard, we're going to need the screwdriver. This one. Okay, so this should just unscrew from this side. We do need to take out our cluster, because that is an original kilometer cluster. It shows the true mileage of the car. Although it's not got a lot of life left in it, and we just popped out the windscreen as well. Let's put that back in. That is good. So I don't know how long this is going to stay alive. So we'll just put it in the back for now. Alright, so let's get our screwdriver again. We need to take out the screws on the other side of this car, on the dashboard actually. Yeah, this dashboard definitely seen better days. So there's nothing really salvageable on that dashboard. Alright, so let's grab this one. So let's see how many miles this car had on. 890,822. That is quite high mileage. But I think this car has probably served the owner very well, the previous owner, to have reached such an amount of mileage. Alright, let's zip this down. And like that. And I think the last finishing touch we're going to do is just replace the steering wheel quickly. And I'm pretty confident that the trim pieces will also fit. So let's see. Maybe we can also do that. Shouldn't be an issue. Right, so this is the correct steering wheel for the car, although it's missing the badge in the middle. We'll just pop that down there for now. We do need to get a new steering column for this, because that indicator stalk doesn't seem to be working anymore. As well as the windows. I wonder if these windows will fit. They probably will. I will have to test, but I think the rear windows might be different. So that's something I'm going to have to test as well. But I also wanted to see if the trim on the car is going to fit. So this should just pop on our door over there. So if that fits, yeah, I don't think the door's going to fit because this window is much smaller than that window back there. So there's a different door, but the door panels are the same. So that is very interesting how they managed to get that right. That is German engineering for you. Alright, so we are going to obviously still miss some bits because that is obviously gone to our Mercedes we are working on for Austin or Uncle Austin. So yeah, we can probably order some of those. They shouldn't be that expensive. So I was referring to this small one, but for the opposite side, and the one for the passenger door should be probably damaged. Okay, so we can get that long trim piece off here as well. Oh no, we'll just grab the door one for now. And that should slap on there. Hey, that's almost a color match. Okay, so there we've got our trim piece for the side here at the bottom as well. That is looking pretty interesting. I think it may be a little bit bent as well, so we can probably order a new one of those. And this one also looks a little bit dinged. So yeah, I don't know, maybe we'll just order new ones of those or see if we can find some used ones. But yes, I think that is pretty much a lot of things we did in this episode, so I think we're going to leave it there. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate every view, every like. And also remember, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. I will appreciate it very much. But yeah, until the next time, cheerio!